Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamuti Udaye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishti Bhagavati Canto 10, Chapter 3, the birth of Lord Krishna. I will continue from the previous class where we were discussing the 24th verse, which is the beginning of prayers by Devaki. I just read the verse by myself. And then so that I can please hear the verse. Sridevakyuvacha Rupam Yattatrahuravyaktamadyam Brahma Jyotirnirgunam Nirvikaram Sattamatram Nirvishesham Niriham Sattvam Sakshat Vishnuradhyatmadipaha. The translation and performed by divine grace we see the true Vedanta Swami for the translation. Sri Devaki said, my dear Lord, there are different Vedas, some of which describe you as unperceivable to words and the mind. Yet you are the origin of the entire cosmic manifestation. You are Brahman, the greatest of everything, full of effulgence like the sun. You have no material cause. You are free from change and deviation, and you have no material desires. Thus, the Vedas say that you are the substance. Therefore, my Lord, you are directly the origin of all Vedic statements. And by understanding you, one gradually understands everything. You are different from the light of Brahman and Paramatma, yet you are not different from them. Everything emanates from you. Indeed, you are the cause of all causes, Lord Vishnu, the light of all transcendental knowledge. So that's the translation, the complete translation. The very detailed translation. The translation itself contains some purport. So we'll go through the translation little word by word from the original words. Now, Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurummilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prasad Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Panchatya Devkarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. As I mentioned in the previous class, Devaki is pure devotee of Krishna. He is offering wonderful prayers in which the philosophy of Krishna consciousness is being very nicely described by her. Now, as I mentioned in the previous class, when did she study all this philosophy? We study a whole lifetime. We can't even expect to understand even a small portion of this prayer. But she is completely realized. And for those who are realized, there's no question of asking, when did you study? How do you know this philosophy? Yeah. So, realization is not merely knowledge. It's a very important point you have to understand. Realization is including knowledge. It includes knowledge. But it is more than just knowledge. It is the ultimate understanding, ultimate situation in the perfect understanding by which everything becomes known, nothing remains unknown. Several places in the scriptures it is said, one who knows Krishna knows everything. But if a person has studied the entire Vedic literature and he is a great Vedic scholar, he has studied all the four Vedas along with the Veda, Shadanga with the six corollaries, and all the Dharma Shastras, all the Puranas, all the Itihasas, everything is studied. But he does not know Krishna. Then he does not know everything. Basically, the goal of all Vedic study, Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyam. Bhagavad Gita will very clearly explain that. The goal of Vedic knowledge, or Vedic study, or Vedic understanding is to know Krishna. And bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yat cha asmi tattvataha. Krishna says in the 18th chapter, 15th chapter, he says the goal of Vedic study is to know Krishna. The 18th chapter, he says that if somebody wants to know me, the only way is by bhakti. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. By bhakti, you can know me, and you can know me tattvataha. Yavan yat cha asmi tattvata. In truth, you can know me. Like we have experience in our ordinary day-to-day life, that if you look at a person, you talk to a person, or you interact with a person, it need not necessarily mean you know the person in truth. Knowing a person in truth is much more than merely knowing his name, knowing his family background, knowing his material qualifications. It's much more than that. Similarly, the Vedas are describing Krishna. All the Vedas are simply describing Krishna, means the absolute truth, ultimately. Yes. But then the Vedas can never completely describe all the Vedas put together. All the scriptures cannot completely describe. Why? Because Krishna is the unlimited. His qualities are unlimited. His beauty is unlimited. His knowledge is unlimited. His creation is unlimited. His devotees are unlimited. Everything about Krishna is unlimited. So, the Vedas are describing some aspects of Krishna. When Krishna says in the 15th chapter, in the 15th chapter, he says, the goal of all Vedic study is to understand who is Krishna. But at the end of the 15th chapter, the 19th verse, Yo mam evam asammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid. Very interesting, this verse 19. Krishna says, whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is to be understood as the knower of everything. This is confirmed in the Vedic original Vedic statements, Shruti, the original Vedas. Yasmin vijnate sarvam etam vijnatam bhavaniti. Simply, if you know Krishna, you know everything. Same thing is told in this verse of the Bhagavad Gita, the 19th verse of the 15th chapter. Yo mam evam asammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid. Why am I saying this? It's because Devaki knows Krishna, therefore she knows him. A pure devotee knows Krishna, therefore they know everything. They don't have to separately study the Vedanta Sutra or the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. They don't have to do any such study. So, Devaki is describing here, my dear Lord is offering prayers to Krishna, who's appeared as her son. But he has appeared in his Narayana form. Narayana form is like a full-fledged adult form. But that Narayana, because Narayana has appeared as her son, the Supreme Lord has appeared as her son, just born. So he is like a small boy, very small boy. Nowhere you will hear description of Narayana as a small boy in his form as Narayana. But this is again a mystery that several people they get confused whether Krishna is son of Devaki or Krishna is son of Yashoda. Whether Krishna is a Kshatriya or Krishna is a Vaishya. Whether Krishna is Narayana or Krishna is Krishna. Then Narayana and Krishna are the same or they are different. You see, these are all mysteries, even for those who study the scriptures, which cannot be resolved in any way except by actually engaging in pure devotional service. All such mysteries are resolved only for the devotees of Krishna. That's why it is said only devotees know who is Krishna. You know the truth of Krishna. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yatya asmi tatvataha. Only devotees can mystery. And devotees like Devaki, they help us, beginning devotees or not yet realized souls like us. We are on the path of advancement in Krishna consciousness. We are all devotees who are practicing devotees. So for us to understand something about Krishna, Devaki is elucidating. So she is telling there are different Vedas, some of which describe you as unperceivable to words and the mind. Now, this sentence in Devaki's prayer, in the original Sanskrit, it is just one word. What is that word? Avyaktam. That's all. But Prabhupada, for helping us understand, Avyaktam literally means unmanifest. But Prabhupada is expanding this Avyaktam word and explaining how should we understand when Devaki is telling you are Avyakta Tvam Avyaktam. That's a prayer. So the meaning is there are different Vedas, some of which describe you as unperceivable through words and the mind. Now, such an explanation can only be given by the Acharya. Nobody else can explain this the way Prabhupada is explaining. Only the Acharya can explain it. Therefore, don't read translations by somebody who's not an Acharya. Don't read other books, other translations by some scholars, by some philosophers, by some speculators, by some mystic yogis. No, don't read. They don't know who is Krishna. They don't know Krishna. Neither they can understand Devaki's prayers or any pure devotee's prayer. They cannot understand. So, Devaki is telling here, some of the places in the Vedas, the Supreme Absolute Truth, the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna, is described as unperceivable through words and mind. Avak Manasa Gocha. Vak and Manasa. Vak is words and Manasa is mind. So that's the original Shruti description of the Absolute Truth. Avak Manasa Gocha. So that Avak Manasa Gochara In the Bhagavatam, in Devaki's prayer, is explained or described as Tvam Avyaktam. See, this correlation between what is there in the original Vedas and the Srimad Bhagavatam, this correlation is done by the Acharya. This is called Parampara. How does Prabhupada know? Devaki's prayer from Vyaktam is same as in the Shruti, Avang Manasa Bodha. So that is receiving the knowledge in the Parampara system. Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajachudodi. Praptam means it is received through the Parampara system. What? Knowledge about the absolute truth, the understanding of who is Krishna. So, Prabhupada is explaining based on the Parampara understanding that Krishna is described in some portions of the Vedas as not perceivable, means not understood or not known through words and mind. This basically explains what is our limitation in our present condition in trying to understand Krishna through the descriptions in the Vedas, through the description given in the Vedas, as so many different words are used, like Nirvishesha, Nirvikara, Niriha, Avyakta, Adya, Brahmajyoti, Nirguna, Nirvishesha, Adhyatma Deepa. So many different terms are there in the Upanishads, the original Vedas. The original Vedas. But simply those words, somebody tries to understand the meaning of the word. Like when you're learning a language, in the beginning, you know some few words, you are beginning, but then gradually you learn more words, their meaning, actually how to apply those words in daily life, all that you learn. But that kind of learning is not going to help us understand Krishna. Means to understand Krishna, simply studying the Vedas is not enough. Though the aim of the Vedas is to describe Krishna through words, through descriptions, yes. But still, those Vedas have to be studied, or those Vedas have to be understood through the pure devotee Acharya. You have to hear his explanation, Prabhupada. What does Prabhupada say? The Vedas are describing you means Krishna, as unperceivable through the words and through the mind. The words we know, words are used to describe a person or qualities or some attributes, etc. What about the mind? Now, some things which cannot be described through words, you can perceive through the mind. Just like somebody's feelings. Somebody's feelings are hurt. I spoke harshly to somebody and they felt very hurt. Now, where is that injury or where is that hurt? It is in the subtle body, it's in the mind. Hurt, my words. And my words also are something very subtle, isn't it? Simply as a sound which is perceived through the ears, that is not the meaning of words. That's not the real meaning of sound, actually. And Krishna says, Shabda Khe, 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he says, I am the sound in ether. So actually, every sound is full of knowledge of the absolute truth, description of the absolute truth. Every sound. Because that's why Krishna says, I am the sound in ether. This is explained in another prayer by Vasudeva in the 10th canto, 87th chapter, 86th chapter. So there Vasudeva says, these different combinations of the letters of the alphabet, we make words. Okay. But those words become meaningful only because Krishna is making them meaningful. It's Krishna who makes those words meaningful. Simply somebody knows the letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, D up to Z. And any combination of these alphabets or letters make words. So if you ask a child, W, yes, W has learned A to Z. Because W is the 26th or 24th letter in the alphabet. Okay. O, you know? Yes. There were 15 letters. Then you know R? Yes. It's also under letter in the alphabet. D, you know? Then you know what is W-O-R-D? Word? No. Merely knowing W-O-R-D doesn't mean you know what is word. So then the child will be taught word means a combination of letters, which is one unit of understanding an object. It's like table, T-A-B-L-E. Table is this object, table. The combination of these letters, T-A-B-L-E. But an adult knows more better than the child that merely that combination of letters is not making up the word table, by which we are able to say this is called table. That the child has to grow up, it has to mature. Then only he'll understand. The T-A-B-L-E, table means that sound. And that sound in association with an object, by which the object gets a name. All this is very complex for the child to understand. Okay? Even adults don't understand all this. But if we get into the details of what is this word table, or what is the sound table, we know this word table or sound table refers to the name of an object called table. Now, how is this name actually given? Who gave this name? Who gave this name? This is table. It's called table. Each one of us, we had to admit, we didn't give it. So they will say some originator of language itself, they formed these words and they said, let us call this table. Let's call that as a stand. Let us call something else as a chair or a seat or a mat or a wall. No, nobody has done this work. It is actually at the beginning of creation. Krishna, in his form as Garbhodaka Shayi Vishnu, who enters into each universe. Mahavishnu breathes out so many universes in a seed-like form. But they remain undeveloped unless Mahavishnu enters as the second Vishnu. He enters. Vishnu means one who enters. One of the meanings of the word Vishnu. So he enters into the universe, the seed-like universe. And then the universe begins to develop. And very quickly this happens. As soon as he enters, the whole universe is there, developed into so many planets. On each planet, so many different varieties. Everything is there. So along with Vishnu entering into each universe and creating the diversity in this whole universe, all the planets on each planet. This is basically the place of residence for the living entities who are going to be created by Brahma and the Prajapatis. Before creation of the living entities, means creation means what? Living entities don't have to be created. A spirit soul, they're always existing. But they have to be given the suitable bodies. And when they're given a body, immediately they require a place. They require a place. The soul doesn't require any space. Spirit soul doesn't require any space. Okay. Now, as spirit soul, the scriptures describe you are in the heart region. Because actually, the spirit soul doesn't exist in the material dimension. Spirit soul exists in the spiritual dimension. Spiritual dimension, there is no earth, water, fire, air, ether, nothing. There is no material elements. There is no matter. There are no material planets, material space, nothing. So, this spirit soul in the heart region means, what does it mean? Have you ever thought? Actually, it is we are a spirit soul. Where are we located? We are where our consciousness is. So, since a conditioned soul is generally bodily conscious, therefore, it is said in the scriptures, for those who are body conscious, where are they? They are in the body. Now, the body is, so many parts of the body are there. Exactly where is the soul? If you ask that question, soul is in the body. Okay. Deha, Dehi. This is the 13th verse of the second chapter. Dehi nosmin yatha dehe. Deha and Dehi. Dehi is the embodied soul. Embodied soul. The soul which has got a body as a covering. And Deha is the body itself. Okay. But where is this in the body? You know where is the heart? You can locate the heart, you can locate the stomach, you can locate the foot, you can locate the mouth, you can locate the ears, you can locate the nose. So where is the soul? So for that, the chapter says, heart region, Hriddeshe. Of course, the verse says, Ishvaraha Sarvabhutanam Hriddeshe. But another verse in the Upanishad says, this body is like a tree, and like two birds sitting on a tree, the soul and the super soul are both seated like two birds on it. Dva Suparna Sayuja Sukha. Like three trains, basically. Three train birds. So all this is combined, these descriptions in different parts of the scriptures is combined by the Acharya to explain, as much as the Lord is seated in the heart region, even the spirit soul, you, I, each of us, we are seated on the tree of this body in the heart region as a very, 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 very small particle of spirit. So that's a description. Okay. But actually, the spirit soul is not in the material dimension. So the scientists will try to see where in the heart region is the soul. Oh, it's a small atom. Okay, we can locate the atom, material atom, we can locate where it is through our atomic physics. And so many physicists have studied atomic, what is the atomic physics. So we can locate the atom through advanced methods. So Will they be able to locate this spiritual atom? No, spiritual atom is not like material atom. Spiritual atom is not made up of matter. So even if they can locate a material atom, they cannot locate spirit soul because it's not a material. So then how can they understand or perceive or see or know the spirit? Is only through the realization. This is what is only through. And what is that realization? It is a combination of knowledge, understanding, perceiving, conceiving, and experiencing, everything put together, and something more than that. So, in simple words, again, these are all described by Prabhupada. What I'm saying is all described by Prabhupada in different places in his books. So Prabhupada says, ultimately, realization means perceiving the reality, perceiving the truth, perceiving the reality. That's what realization is. And a characteristic of a realized person is given in the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, verses 55 to 72. Arjuna asked this question. What are the symptoms of a self-realized soul? Tita prajnasya bhasha samadhi. So, this realization, Devaki is realized. So she's telling Tvam Avyaktam, and Prabhupada is explaining. Prabhupada is also realized. So he explains what is this Tvam Avyaktam. It means he is not perceivable through words and mind. Further, she says, yet you are the origin of the entire cosmic manifestation, Adyam. Yes. Avyaktam, you're unperceivable through the words and mind, which are actually words are the words describing the absolute truth in the Vedas. And mind is those who study the Vedas and try to understand with their mind. What is this description meaning? What does the description mean? They use their subtle body, the mind, the intelligence. They try to understand what does this Avyaktam mean. So it says, even though you cannot understand using your mind or words, description of words, who is Krishna, but still Adyam, Krishna is the origin of the entire. So Adyam means origin. The literal meaning of the word Adyam means origin. But Prabhupada expands this origin. You are the origin of what? Of the entire cosmic manifestation. What is cosmic manifestation? Everything that is manifest when the creation takes place. Before the creation, the material energy is in the unmanifest state. It's simply some energy. Okay. That energy becomes activated by the glance of Mahavishnu, and that energy is differentiated by his glance into the gunas, which become active. And then the elements, by action of the gunas on the energy itself, avyakta, then it becomes differentiated into 24 elements. Pancha Mahabhuta, Ahankara, Buddhi, then what is that? Indriyani Dashaikam Cha. This is all there in the Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, 6th verse. The Indriyani, 11 senses, including the mind. The 5 senses of perception and the 5 senses of action and the mind. Together 11. So all these are elements which are differentiated from the material energy. So the whole cosmic manifestation, all the material universes with their, each universe with their planets, each planet with all the material objects, the material bodies, the material manifestation, everything is actually the origin of all this is Krishna. That is being described. So we'll discuss more in the next few classes. Let's start here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.